Okay, I'm going to briefly touch on what we propose to do for the next phase of the long-term aquifer study. And this is putting together a hydrogeologic framework. Essentially what we're trying to do is figure out how the aquifer is put together. What we'll do is map the thickness and the areal extent of the aquifer system. We'll look at the rock and sediment units within the alluvial system as much as we can and assign hydraulic properties and zones. And then finally we'll map what the underlying bedrock type is. And the reason the underlying bedrock is important is because we're starting to complete a lot of wells in the side canyons and along the sides of the side canyons in these other rocks. Some of these rocks are black shales and the water quality is probably not that great. So if we can map the depth of bedrock and what the composition of the bedrock is, that allows us to make some predictions and generalizations about quality and availability. A groundwater flow model will eventually be done of the Wood River Valley. IDWR, that's how they manage water rights. So somebody will eventually do a flow model of the valley. This is an essential part of what will go into that eventual groundwater flow model. So typically what do? Well, we start off with driller's logs. Whenever anybody drills a well, they have to submit a driller's log to the state that gives lithology. And these may be, for instance, gravel, sand, and gravel will be gravel from, say, 0 to 10 feet, 5 feet of sand, and then gravel to the bottom of the well. But we take a number of these, we figure out where they are, and as best as we can, we put together cross-sections that match the lithology of what we'll see from these driller's logs. This was a lot easier because I drew the cross-section first and then did the driller's logs. That's why it looks so good. From these cross-sections, we then go through and try to put together a map of the hydrophases. For instance, this clay we know is a very low hydraulic conductivity. The sand has higher areas of gravel. And again, to put together an accurate groundwater flow model, this is really very important. Next thing we hope to be able to do, and will be able to do, is put together a map of the thickness of the aquifer. This allows us to tell something about the amount of water we have in storage and our saturated thickness. And then finally, what we would like to do is put together these maps of bedrock lithology. So we can say, for instance, it looks like down, say, East Fork, we've got a fault. If you have, and this is just for an example, if you're north of this fault, you're in a given black shale formation, the Belgian formation, your water quality may be bad, whereas if you're on the south side of the valley, your well might be in the Wood River formation, which might have a little better water quality. So that's the kind of thing we can do with these.